Oh, you know what? I'm so used to being right directly on. Do your countdown. I need more here to know what you're looking like right now.
There's nobody joining yet.
Okay.
Still want to do it?
No.
Alright.
Oh, we gotta change this.
Change what?
This.
Background?
No.
Oh, today's December.
Right.
This one. And that's not what this
Where is it? Is that a banner?
No. Give me.
Hold up.
It's not it. I know where it is, Mommy.
You just type it right in there? Oh, okay. Thanks. Okay, cool. Spell it.
And no, 2 N's.
2?
I'm pretty sure, yes. Yeah, 2 N's.
Mm-hmm.
IAM.
X? Z?
Z. Millennials is X.
Right. Who got?
We've got an I and a comment.
Hey, bud! Hey! Oh. Did it change there? Oh, you're not on. Oh, there we go. It changed. Let's not tap. Remember, when you tap, it affects the mic.
Got 2 eyes. Make that one.
Hi guys. First off, we are sorry that we are late. We was stuck in traffic. I told Jetty we got a surprise guest. He don't know who it is, y'all. So I didn't want him to see.
Is it the person on your phone?
Boom. All right. So we got a special guest. Just trying to make sure that they're situated. Oh, I need to look on the YouTube to see if it is showing us, right? Because there are people who say they can't see our.
That's not YouTube?
This?
Mm-hmm.
No.
What is that?
That's Facebook.
It looks different.
We are in a different location today, which has nothing to do with our guests. Okay, cool. Cool.
I would have put that in the comments.
What are you writing? Oh, don't worry, they already know. All right.
Who joined?
Auntie Tina's on there.
Right. We got 2 eyes. So somebody else was 3 eyes.
Hi guys, how y'all doing? We're still trying to. We're in a whole different environment today. Can't tell because of the background. Bless God for green screens. But thank y'all for tuning in thus far. I am your host, Tashara. And y'all know my mini me over here.
Your co-host, Jedediah. You can call me Jay.
So today we're going to be talking about millennials, and I barely made the mark.
Versus Zillennials. Wait, is that yes, Zillennials.
Also known as Generation Z. So my peers, we are Generation X, no, Generation Y, or also known as Millennials. And these little guys here, up until like their 20s, was it in their 20s? You have the time frame, right?
I do.
Yeah, so Millennials is 1981 to 97. Salutations, salutations. And Generation Z is 2010 to 2020. Is that what it says?
On here, it is.
Oh, cool. Guesses in the building. So I had a conversation with Jay, right? And hello, Diva. I had a conversation with Jay. We've had this conversation plenty of times. I've actually had this conversation with both of my children of the way in which they are as children, not just in the sense of their age, but parent to child, is way different from the way in which we were coming up. And I definitely see some of my peers on here who are also known as millennials. So I definitely would like to have you guys in the comment. Thank y'all for tuning in. To our guests, please just stand by. We will be bringing you on. Please let's not lose you. But I first wanted to discuss the standpoint of what I was saying, guys. Put things in the comments if y'all agree, disagree, or things that you guys can compare to what y'all see today between the youth of today versus how we were when we were their age. So one of the things I was telling to Jay that I've had plenty of times where, like with my oldest son, I used to go through questioning myself, like, I'm pretty sure he just disrespected me. I think I was supposed to bust him in the head, but I'm not positive on that. Like I'd be confused because he literally would be like sarcastic, but the way he would say it, I didn't, I questioned would I be going overboard if I was to give him a quick little pop or something. So I know that didn't happen again. But when we were growing up, our parents wasn't questioning nothing. Mom Dukes is like, if she felt it, you felt it, if you know what I mean. Like a quick smack, quick with the hands or anything in the vicinity, if that makes sense. So I was also expressing to Jay that when we were growing up, we did more things actively outside with our peers and such, steal a bacon, stoop ball, manhunt. If I leave anything out, please throw it in the comments. Double Dutch for those who jump rope, basketball, skelly, that was my favorite. Handball, these are things that we did growing up. And the kids today, I remember when we moved into our house, right? Our we have a nice little cul-de-sac that we're in. So it's I think about 30, 31 homes. And I'm sitting on the steps, I see all the kids outside. So I'm like, Jay, come outside and play with the kids. Jay was like, I don't know them. I'm like, how do you think I'm gonna get to know them? Right. We wanted to be like Dee said, we wanted to be outside. Like as soon as it was an option to go outside, that's the first thing we're saying. What are you doing? Oh, as soon as it was an option, you can leave it up there. An option to go outside. Mom, can I go outside? Those who had their pops, Dad, can I go outside? Like, and when you were outside because you already know y'all can finish this line for me. If you was running in and out of the house like these kids do today, please put it in the comments what your mother would say to you or your parent or guardian will say to you ASAP. We outside. Don't look for me till sunset. Exactly. That's exactly what it was. These kids today, they want to keep running inside. They want to be sitting on their phones. They want to be sitting on any type of electronic device. But if you was inside and you was outside and you was inside and you was outside, I ain't see nobody say it yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna say it myself. You running inside and outside the house. There it is. Stay in or stay out. Exactly, Jay Cinnamon. That's the first thing your moms or parent or guardian or what have you, grandma, whatever, will say without a problem. So we
You
definitely
still
had.
say that to me?
I do say that for you, but that's why I said I feel like I barely made it into millennials because as a parent, while I do operate on a lot of the new parenting, because of how I was raised, I do operate on a standpoint of um yeah, this is definitely one right here. I do operate from a standpoint of how I was raised. I'm just not as strict as or as stern as my mom might have been. I love the feedback we got going on. Right, 12 p.m. You can't wait for it to come because you outside, and if it's the weekend, you're trying to get out there earlier. This is see this right here that Tiana has said. Y'all already know when them street lights come on, you better find yourself on the inside of the house. Don't let your parent come outside looking for you. See, these kids come in the house today, they don't smell like outside. They either smell like funk because they've been in school doing whatever or not wearing the proper deodorant or this one here, he's a boy, we got that, and then he does sports, so we do get a outside smell on him, but they don't get it the way we did. I'm loving the comments, Jay. So I remember, right, and I'm gonna ask you this, Jay. D said to Jay one time, because Jay has said, "Oh, I feel like I'm always getting in trouble." She was like, "You don't know what in trouble is." So Jay came to me one day and he said, "Y'all know Jetty is funny with his wording, right?" Jetty said, "When you was growing up, did your mother trouble you?" So I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Miss Dion said that I don't know what trouble is. So when you came up, was your mother troubling you?" So I'm like, what she meant by that, Jay, is for you getting in trouble consists of Jay, you left the bread out. Jay, you didn't clean your room. What name some of the things you talk of? What's some of your classifications of I got in trouble?
Um, hmm. And all of a sudden, I can't think. Um, Getting in trouble is like I would say like if I forgot to clean up after myself, or if let's say the trash is full and didn't I didn't take it out, things like that, or like if I forget to do something like certain thing that really shouldn't need to be forgotten.
So Jay has a couple of things, handful of things that he's responsible for. Most of them is himself. From the standpoint of keeping his room clean, making sure his bed is made up. He has pretty much his own bathroom in the house, so he's supposed to clean his bathroom once a week. And as far as chores around the house, he's supposed to make sure all the garbage cans in the house are emptied, and he's the kitchen garbage and so on and what have you. If he has any dishes that he utilizes, he's supposed to clean up behind himself. Jetty, as you see in the comments, wifey is saying Jetty doesn't like to be spoken to, so he considers being spoken to as getting in trouble. Is she wrong on that?
No.
She's not wrong. So Jetty, he's not he don't want you to correct him at all for the most part. He just want to do what he's supposed to do and not be told to do it. No, I'm good. I'm good. So for him, as soon as you're saying something to him, correcting him on something, he automatically starts feeling like he's in trouble. Go ahead with some of the stuff that you got over there.
Okay, so you mentioned how Generation Z would like to stay on our electronics and all that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I have a little example here. We take notes, right? She took notes in her notebook. Guess what I took notes on today? This.
Wait, hold up. I almost feel like he just came for me, right? But he did not. This is good. Children should learn how to do. Hey, Uncle Rob. So, first off, Today's the first day Jetty took notes in his notebook. I mean, in his phone. He usually uses his notebook. So he just tried to come for me because I've written in my book. Yes, it is shady. I feel it. I feel like, if y'all don't see the light in front of us, it's because he's really throwing shade. But I'm a person that I don't like to take cards, like business cards, or take flyers and things of that nature. So I take a picture of it, I have it in my phone. So don't try to get fly. Don't try to get fly. Let me tell you something. Old school. Y'all already know. Daddy be like, "Mommy, what does such and such mean?" What do I say?
Go look it up in the dictionary.
Go look it up in the dictionary. That's what we grew up, right? If you needed to know what something meant, you was in dictionaries and you was encyclopedias. That's if you had to do research. And do you know what an encyclopedia is?
Yes.
Oh.
You know I'm in Generation Z because when she says that, I just go to my phone. That's my dictionary.
He'd be like, "Hey Siri, what does such mean?" These kids don't know nothing. I keep telling him, if you go and you look it up, if you put in the work of actually looking something up, then you're going to pretty much probably remember it because it took you work. Yes, come through, Britannica. Yes, you know what that is?
Oh my, yes.
How?
Because my Santa Park had a library, so we learned about all of this stuff.
Oh, in history class or something?
No.
Because that's what it. Oh, sorry, y'all. Siri
forced,
was in my business.
We were forced to do this stuff.
Siri was in my business. How do I get back on this on our live?
Are you not on it? Oh.
See, this now I be feeling old and stuff, y'all, when I deal with him because I was very savvy in electronics and stuff, and now he be trying to help me and set me up on things of that nature. But these kids don't know anything in reference to how we came up versus. So I tried to explain to Jay the other day. I said, we played things like steal a bacon. Jetty was like, "What's steal a bacon?" So I'm like, they take an object. It's usually put in the center of two teams. One team is going to be 1 through however many numbers of people on there. So let's say hypothetically 7, 1 through 7. This team's going to be 1 through 7, and somebody's going to shout out a number. And both person who's assigned that number on a team is going to run out, and y'all are going to try to grab that object before the other one tags you when you're returning back to your side. He started describing something that they try to do in school that I guess is supposed to be maybe a modern version. What was it y'all was playing?
So it was called Pirate Ball, where you had your own, like you said, your own little side or base, whatever you want to call it. And we had our own ship, and you would have a penny on. And basically, like, let's say you were on the yellow team and they were on the blue team. We would have our own hula hoops with a whole bunch of stuff in it. And the yellow team would try to go over to the blue team, still starting from their hula hoop without being tagged.
Go ahead, don't worry, keep going.
Without being tagged, and then return it to their base or ship.
You see how quick it was for me to be able to describe how we played Still a Bacon? You see how you went over the bridge, under the tunnel, and through the water to come and tell me what you was playing? Yeah. Team too much.
It's easier than it sounds, though.
Oh. So I just thought about something when I looked at the phone, right? So y'all, again, I'm going to encourage y'all, speak into the comments, right? And if any of y'all have seen videos, I've posted videos of having these types of conversations with Jay that were super comical, right? So when we were growing up, when we were going to school and we were listening to our music on public transportation, when we took public transportation to school, right? Anybody change the answer? We had things like Discman, Walkmans. Then there came the time where, Apple started getting on the map and we had MP3 players and such. These kids have all of that in one. When we wanted to do our homework and stuff and it had to be done like on a computer or type in a paper or something. First of all, a typewriter. That just came to me. I'm sorry. A typewriter. We had to use things like a typewriter. At one point, that was the way in which we had to type papers. Unless you had like the computers, you probably don't know what some of the old school computers look like. If somebody could pull up a picture of a old school computer or a typewriter, just throw it in the comments if it lets you. First off, you took public transportation school. Yes, I did. Or word processor. Big facts. Yes, public transportation school. That's another thing. Jetty takes the school bus to school. He's taking the school bus to school pretty much, other than like kindergarten and pre-K and Head Start. He's always taking a school bus to school, right?
Right.
So I took the train. I took like 2, 3 trains to school when I was in high school. Um, I took the bus when I was in junior high school. When I was in elementary school, we lived not far, so I was able to walk to school. But this one here, even in elementary school, he was taking a school bus to elementary school. And if they're not taking a school bus, they being driven to school. These kids are spoiled, all the way spoiled. It's crazy.
Hold on, wait, because we didn't ask for it though.
Oh man, here we go with this. All right, go ahead.
Now, I'm not saying that I want to go drive on a train. I don't even want to drive on one train. I just don't like trains. They're dirty. But
So just for the Generation Z, I want to help you out a little bit. You guys don't drive the trains.
you know what I meant.
Oh, okay. Ride. You don't want to ride on the train. Go ahead.
But at the same time, it's not like we were just like, I want to ride a bus to school. It's just like when I was born, I didn't even know there was such thing as riding a bus. I was like, hold on, you got to ride a bus to school? Because I was used to being driven. But I didn't ask to go ride a bus, go ride on a bus.
Let me tell y'all about these privileged children. Yesterday, Jedediah, my son, she's laughing at something D said. Jedediah, my son, has the nerve to say to me, Mom, if I clean all of this right here, talking about our island, because we have an island in our kitchen, an extended island in the kitchen, and the countertops, right? If I clean all of this right here, will you pay me? But I'm not going to clean it today, though. I don't know about y'all, but my mama, I'd have been cleaning that extended island after that statement. I'd have been cleaning the counters. I'd have been sweeping and mopping the floor. I'd have learned my lesson, never asked to be compensated for something that I'm using anyway. I live under this roof. Right, exactly, Tima. Oh, hell nah. Yes, I looked at him, I was like, you should want to clean that stuff because you live here. This is your house, bro. You live here. If it was me and I said that to my moms, bro, I'm telling you, I'd have been cleaning dishes that was already clean. Troy, that ain't funny. I'd have been cleaning dishes that was already clean. I'd have been cleaning the bathroom. Hey, Miss E, I'd have been cleaning all types of stuff. I would have regretted ever opening my mouth to fix my lips to make that statement. You don't be knowing. Look, the other day, right? This past weekend, the Sunday before that Monday of the past weekend, right? Not this. What's today? Today's the weekend. It's Sunday, right? So last Sunday.
Saturday.
Today's Saturday. All right. Last Sunday, Jetty got pretty sick out of nowhere. He was cool on Saturday. He woke up on Sunday and he just was throwing up, feeling nauseous with a bit of a headache, right? So we didn't know what was going on. I went out, got him some Pedialyte, some soup for when he was going to be able to start eating stuff or whatever. Brought his body size being bag downstairs. These are the type of things these kids have. My wife went upstairs and carried him in her arms down a flight and a half of stairs because our house is 2 stories. So he was weak. I was like, you want me to carry you downstairs? Because he really was very weak. He really wasn't feeling well. Jetty's a kid that's always full of life, full of energy, always up, moving. And he was not moving at all. So she looked at me. She was like, you want me to carry him? Because I was like, I don't know. We might fall down the stairs. So she went upstairs and she picked him up and she carried him down the stairs, laid him down and what have you, right? Long story short, fast forward. He's sick all day. He slept all day Sunday with an exception of waking up for Pedialyte. I gave him some seltzer water, Alka-Seltzers, which settled his stomach. Monday morning, he wakes up. Now, I had him take out school clothes because in my mind, if he's feeling better on Monday morning, he's going to school. My wife, even though she's usually the bad cop or the tougher parent. In my mind, if he woke up in the morning with that alarm and he wasn't still throwing up, he was going to school. I looked at her because she looked like she was feeling bad for him. I said, "You think he should stay home?" She said, "I do. I think he should just stay home and relax." All right, Jay, you want to stay home? You want to go to school? He was like, "I would like to stay home." No problem. Jay lays down on the beanbag. Then Jetty starts. He was like, "Can I use some of my phone time?" I'm like, "No. If you're too sick to go to school, you're too sick to be on the phone." Then he wants to talk a hole in our head. Jetty gets up at 5 something in the morning for school. We're laying down. He wants to talk, 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 talk. So I'm like, I'm looking at her. She's laughing. She tells him this, during the morning, this is not talk time. This sleep time. Jetty Jetty decides, forget it. I'm gonna go to school. Forget it. I'm going to school. He went, got dressed, took a shower and everything, and went to school. And I wasn't driving him to school. I was like, hurry up. By the time he decided to go to school, it was like 7 o'clock, and the school bus comes at 7:40. I was like, hurry up. You better not miss that bus, because if you miss that bus, you staying home. I'm not driving you to school, and you're doing some cleaning today. He made it to school on time. These kids don't know how to get invisible when they get the benefit of having their way and stuff. You want to add something, Papo?
No.
All right, guys. Go ahead.
Oh.
What's up?
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah. 80s babies. 80s babies. That's what they're called. 80s babies are Generation X or the Millennial generation, also known as Generation X.
I thought we was Generation Y. Generation X is my mama.
Well, then you're your mama.
I'm not my mama. Generation X goes into
It said
81. I sent it to you. It goes to 81. We're not going to go back and forth. Go ahead. Say whatever you're going to say. Don't worry. Go ahead.
Okay. Huh?
Jetty didn't change my mind. Jetty changed his own mind. He said, no, I'm going to school. Go ahead.
Generation X is the demographic cohort following the baby boomers, preceding the millennials. Researchers in popular media use the mid to late 1960s as starting birth years and the late 1970s to early 1980s as ending birth years, with the generation being generally defined as people born from 1965 to 1980. Now, what's so different between millennials and Generation X? Zillennials. For starters, Gen X's, born between 1965 to 1980, came in on the cusp of cell phones, the internet, and social media, while most millennials born between 1981 and 1987 grew up with these when these things were a regular part of daily life.
Which is what you just said about you're in acts for these things. It's just how your life was. Because you got your first cell phone when you was like 7.
Right, my first cell phone, because I was using your work phone.
Yeah. 7 with a cell phone. I got my first beeper when I was 18 and I bought it myself. I asked Jetty what a Walkman was because I was naming the different things that we utilized just to see what his headspace was. I was like, what's a payphone? He gave a description. When I asked him what a Walkman was, you know what he told me? This is something that helps you walk. These kids don't know. Listen, we have a special guest that I want to bring on today, right? This woman, she's helped me raise this little zillennial. She's helped me raise this little zillennial for been a part of his life since he was born. She was probably the one helping to provide childcare and such when I had to work all the long hours in which I had. She's been working with kids since she was 14. She's been working with kids for 40 years. So I definitely wanted to bring her on because her and I have had plenty of conversations about millennials versus the new generation versus her generation. So I definitely wanted her to come on. She's going to give some insight of some things that she's come to learn in studying the differences between the different generations. Yes, Tima, you already know. Welcome. Dawn, we're not going to see your face.
This God bless you. I told you that might be an issue. So I really
Tashi.
wanted to come on. I got all set up for you, but
All right, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah. All right. Next time we will definitely have my face on. This is the first time. So I've never been in StreamYard before. Uh, so,
Copy,
okay. And so next time I'm in StreamYard, you're going to see me.
copy.
This was really good. I really enjoyed y'all too with this. It's just good to watch. I raised millennial, of course, and then the Gen Z. Jenny's like my grandson, so it's like I've seen them both, and I witnessed a lot. Of course, like with children, I've like been always, like I said, around children. My first job was children, and actually, I was working with the children who had developmental delays. They 14 years old. They had me with the child who had the developmental delay, and I didn't even know why they did that. I didn't even know anything about children, but they are my passion, and I do watch them. Don't know all the answers, but I like to watch and see how people grow. The first thing I would really just like to say is, and I didn't make up the saying, but I love it for now, that the world your parents grew up in does not exist anymore. It doesn't exist. And when we come to that realization that is just not part of life, we can move on, to the next generation. And well, I guess I want to talk about Gen Z, but I want to also say, even with because you all talk about the Bible a lot here. And as we go in the Bible, you watch things evolve. You watch things change. You can't marry your sister anymore. You can't, everything that God evolves, he changes life. And as it goes on, it gets better for people to do and be who they are.
Love
And
that.
whoever God, wires us to be for that generation, I think is cool. I think is great. That we don't stay the same. We are never going to be like our mother, or we just have the traits, little characteristics, but we're not going to live that life they led. And that means that we've grown. We've gotten to a different, a different light, a different, way of living. I like it. I really do. Like I look at the millennial. Like, okay, let me go back here. Baby boomer, this is how I saw it when I looked at it, because they all do have different answers. So when y'all was up here saying, well, this one is Gen Z and this one, a lot of times when research it, one says one and one says the other, because for me it was like 20 years or 25 years for each generation. But I know you have the baby boomers, and then you have Gen X. That's why you thought you say that you're Y, because Gen X is like a 45-year-old. My,
Their
my my niece is
ex went to 81. Where
80, right? Hmm.
and I'm
Right.
wow, I just missed it.
What? Okay, so they went there. My niece is 45. Saying, where does she go? She can't be a baby boomer. She understand? You understand what I'm saying? So
With Generation X.
in my mind, this is how I'm looking at it. Since they're lining it up, I took, well, let's do 15 years. I'm 63. So I'm a 1960 baby. I'm right there, ready to push it out. I'm right on top, right? Okay, so then you have children, and the child is like, now, I could have had children early. So 45 years old, that's an X. Then the Y is the millennial, who's 40 on down. Anybody who's 40 and down is a millennial. And that's how I put it in my mind. And then down to 20 or 25. From 40 to 25. That's what I don't see with that. From infant to 25 is a Gen Z right now. This is how I see it. I'm not saying, we all, like I say, when I Google it, or look at different resources, they kind of give me different answers, different timelines.
Right.
So I can't hang on to them. I just put it in my head because I have so many people in my family. We have, we can watch the ages there. So I just wanted to say that, so we don't get kind of caught up in,
The
you
age.
know, yeah.
Which age? I got
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, because I know my niece cannot be a baby boomer. She's not. I am. I'm
okay.
that. And now the Gen Z are baby Zoomers. I love it. They call them baby from baby boomer to baby Zoomer. You know?
One of the things that I definitely would like for you to speak on, Dawn, that you and I have talked about before, is where you spoke of how this generation that we got coming up today, how they're going to see things differently, how their
Mm-hmm.
perception of life. I would love for you to expound on that the way we have before in the past.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is something that I see because uh I honestly I see it. And I was gonna say that millennials are saying that they, they didn't want to work hard. Gen Z is like, I'm not working at all. I'm gonna live off my genius. I'm gonna live off my creativity. I'm gonna live off who I am. And I think it's really, really important that they do, um, because of what's inside of them. They would be able to push out, and the parents kind of follow their lead. And I'm going where you want me to go. Kind of the parents not follow their lead, but get to know how they think. Because as I was listening to you, both of you, and you saying where you're from, and he's saying where he is, if you put that together, do you know how awesome that could be? Do you know how you know how great that could be? Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
not interesting or funny, but that you use that term, because I have constantly said that I think he and I, operating from a standpoint of ministry and life changing,
Hmm.
be phenomenal.
Right,
Phenomenal.
right. That's it, absolutely, absolutely. Because you're not that far apart in mind. See, you grew up what you were taught. You did. No, you're not. Listen, listen. What
We
you were taught.
are mine. Does that
Watch
mean you're
this.
very mature? Does that mean that I'm not matured enough? No, go ahead.
No, no. See, Shara going on.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, what it means is you what they say you on the cusp of all the technology, right? So
Right.
you're on the cusp of it. They're born into it. So you already have it. You already, you're there, but they now have the whole, they're wired for it, put it that way. You had to learn it. They're already wired for it. So no, it's not one being less than the other. It's being intertwined what you have, and saying, "Oh, Jay, what do you think of this?" He'll tell you, and then you saying, "This is like this." See, this is authoritative parenting too. This goes with parenting, and instead of authoritarian, which is how we grew, right? You're
Authority
going
and an authoritarian is what you just said.
authoritarian is how you grew up. You're gonna do what I told you to do, and that's that.
Oh, a dictatorship.
Yes,
That's what we spoke in, and
We
that's
spoke about
what
that
I
last week.
spoke about right last week.
right. Authoritative is making the decision together.
Hmm.
It's making the decision to giving them their God-given gift that they got to let you know how they feel and what they have in their minds. And we're going to learn a lot from them. So now I'm going to go to where you asked me to go to, because what it is in them, what they have, like I said, they're gonna work on their genius. They're gonna work from their creativity. They're gonna work from what's inside of them, not their IQ. They're not going to work from that. That's just a math, English, but they're not going to work from that. Aptitude test is what they really need to see where their genius is, to where they can be creative and they can birth out or push out something that the world needs, and not only learn what's taught to them in order for them to get a job, but bring out the best in them in order for them to be happy. In psychology, the what do you call it? Maslow's hierarchy, five the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and he had five different levels of need. You see, and when you have these needs, it's like when you meet one of them, you go to the next one, and you need these things to self actualize. Physical needs. You need your water. You need your sleep. You need your food. That's you got to have that. That's your survival needs. You have to have it. If you don't have that, then you're not ready to even think about how you're going to be safe, where you're going to be safe. Because that would be the next one. Because you need the security. You need to say, I need a decent home. I need to be happy. I need to be feel safe in my wherever I live, my environment. I need to be healthy. Those things. These children, these children have all of this in them to self-actualize, and that's just the higher. I just won't go through the whole hierarchy, but to self-actualize. They're like God put in them to, I'm telling you, to like be gods. Like the Bible says it, so let's not get all ruffled. Ye are gods, but you shall die like men. I get that. But you are the people, the Gen Z are the people that God is going to like end with, but more like to begin with. Don't get scared. End with, which means, watch this, because when Gen Z, what comes and goes, what generation is after Gen Z?
Facts. I get what you're saying.
It's Alpha. It's going back to A,
Right,
back
right,
to the
right.
beginning.
I saw
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Back to the beginning. This is where we're going. And where's the beginning? When people talk to God themselves. They talk to God themselves. They didn't have a preacher.
Right, right,
They
right.
didn't have one.
Yeah.
They didn't have all that. They didn't have all that. They had them and God. Generation Z is, I can only say, like gods. They're gonna have everything they need in them. It's already in them. We just have to be the parents to pull it out of them. And that's what I mean with the authoritarian. If we started talking to them like we had got talked to, this is you develop nothing. You get nothing. Well, you got something out of the child, let's say like you, but you didn't know you know what you wanted, but you didn't get it until you got old enough to get it for yourself. Nobody helped you along to get what you needed. And not so maybe some families did, but we know, like you said, look in the chat. For the most part, this is how we lived. Our parents were like, this is what you're going to do. This is how it goes. This is where it goes. Be quiet. I got this. And won't even allow you to make a decision about some parts of your life. And in some parts of your life, you might have wanted to make it. And they said, no. You know, I want to be an artist. You better go get you a job. You better go to school and to college, and you better be a professor, and you better be, those things that they thought were, would help you, be successful in life or be somebody. I want to be a musician. No, look, you'll never make it with that. You'll never get money with that. I want, and whatever it want to be, whatever they want to be, we have to mold them or listen to them. Listen to them. They got some information for us. And that's what we were talking about as who they are and how they're wired and what God has put inside of them in order for them to reach self-actualization, to be the person that God has called them to be at a young age. It's not going to be, you know what I'm saying? And hard working and labor. And that's not what we were supposed to be born to do. Your child was not supposed to be away from you 8 hours a day. Not 5 days a week. I'm not going to get too far in it, but that's not somebody's supposed to be. They're supposed to know what their creativity that's in that what they have is supposed to be operated, and it's supposed to be nurtured and pushed forward. And that's where they go forth. And then this is where they can have a more relaxed life. And when you self-actualize, you know who you are at a very young age.
I think that's how this day and age, how we're ending up with so many young entrepreneurs.
Yes, exactly. And it absolutely. And the pandemic helped that.
Oh, I think I think anyone who did not take advantage of the pandemic,
Right.
I think I'm not trying to judge because the truth be told, I don't feel like I really took advantage the way in which I could have.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But that was like that's really going to go down in history as a change in the world when
Yes.
people start because as many businesses started closing,
Mm-hmm.
you can match it with how many people started businesses.
Because they found their creativity because they didn't have any work.
You was forced to stand in your
Exactly.
shoes.
Exactly. You got to change with the times. That's a command. You have to change. You can't stay. We're not supposed to. Like I said, let's go back. Let's go to the Bible. Do you see anything staying the same?
No, but you know what's interesting that you say that is, wow, I totally agree.
Yeah, yeah.
There
Go
is
ahead.
no opposition there. I think because I'm one who likes to definitely bring up the church today and how the church is.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I
well,
think
yeah.
they get it really twisted at God is the same yesterday as He is today. I think they get that twisted,
Right,
like
right,
the world
right,
is we're supposed to be the same when
right.
it's not. We're not saying that God changed. We're just saying that the world changed. The way
He evolves.
there's no way that we can operate the way people did back in the day when they were physically with their own hands, manual labor, building these buildings when we have
Right,
machines today,
right,
riding
right,
horses and carriages, and we have cars and planes. Like, I
right.
think for us to see how the world has developed and
Mm-hmm.
think and have the mindset of like we're not supposed to change. I'm not saying, I can't speak on your stance on this, but I know I have definitely come across a lot of old school where
Mm-hmm.
they don't like to see the way the youth may incorporate God into things.
I do.
Like, I think it's super cool to take a song that can be of what sounds like hip hop, a nice beat, but the
Mhm.
lyrics that they're saying mean something. It's positive. It's
Right.
encouraging. It's life. It's speaking life. So, but I've seen people literally in the church, old school people that will get up and walk out
Right. You
because
know,
they can't take the new age
it's
things.
it's the change. It's the change, and a lot of people don't like change. And see, like me, okay, we're talking about the putting the notes in the phone, and I do. I got a computer. I got two phones. I like technology. I always did. I really did. And it's like, but I'm afraid if stuff shut down, and where I would listen, I need my stuff, so I'll put mine on the paper in a minute after I use the phone, the technology. I'll print it out. I'm going to watch it because sometimes I go back on the computer and I don't find what I just found before. So if they don't want you to be have knowledge of something, if somebody wants to shut it down, then dang, oh wow, I just had knowledge of that and I don't have it anymore.
Right,
That's why I keep stuff on paper. But
right.
I would I'll Google it in a minute. Oh yes, I would. And I don't say dictionary no more. I don't. The children don't even have to know to tell time right now because it's on your phone. They don't have to learn that in school anymore.
But they
They don't.
can't write in script either.
They okay, so it's like why? Who cares? Okay, what I think, what I personally, what I be thinking is like, okay, all right, we're evolving, they're changing. I remember my father. Oh, Don, you got to be careful out here. I said, careful about what? I knew my environment. I was outside. It was dark. I know anybody's going to bother me. But he, in his mind, in his way of thinking, not changing with the time, not realizing that children stay out after, when they get a little older, because the lights came on, we had to go in. It also um, makes a lot of sense to do that. But as you get older, you're outside, and and then your father is still saying, y'all need to go in the house. It's 9 o'clock. Go in the house, So what are you talking about? And he's like really afraid for us. Changing with the times. I watch them, and all right, let me go to cursing. Let me go to cursing, right?
Oh,
Because I'm finding it a lot, huh?
we talked about that. We talked about that recently.
Oh, it was like okay, all right. Who said it was a curse word? This is what we've learned and has been embedded and instilled in us that word is a very bad word. I tried to find what made it bad, who made it bad, and how it became bad. I'm not finding that. Now, and please don't get me wrong, because I do cringe. I choose not to curse. It makes me cringe because of the way I grew, because of what I learned. That's what makes me feel like, oh, listen to them. I mean, they don't got the bees and they got the bigger ones that we would like, oh, you just fall out from. That's the ones
I couldn't even say lie growing up.
yes, there you go. Exactly. Say storytelling. Say
Right. Or
storytelling.
fibbing.
Yeah, fitting. Yes. Can't do that.
See, that's why I said
What they're saying.
we made it because Jetty couldn't say lie growing up either.
You're right. And and I started that with Israel, then I stopped. I have to
It's the
change.
way that we use it. I think that's
It
what
is.
it is. It's the way that you use the word. And I've said this to Jetty before. We actually just had this conversation about the N word. Um,
Okay.
and I did. It's we were discussing that when you're using NIGGA, people are using it these days like a term of endearment, or they're bro and so on and what have you. But we spoke of the NIGGER and the history, or NIGER, uh,
NIGR.
um,
ER. One G.
and the history, that went with it. So I was expressing to him. I said, as unfortunately our culture that we have this tendency of like taking ownership, right? So it's
Hmm.
like because it was used derogatory against us
Hmm.
in history,
Hmm.
we won't let nobody else say it. Like it's our word.
Right.
But in all
Hmm.
actuality, it shouldn't be anyone's word.
Well,
It should have been used the way it was used. And if you
uh,
want to go by definition, it simply is ignorance.
that's what they said. Now, since you have a whole community, a whole what do you want to call it? Let me say nationality, because they had different ones even in Africa, right?
Hmm.
So if you had uh, the niggers over here and the Swalis over there and the Zimbabwe over there, let me just say little words that I know. I don't know much about all the names. So you would call them the niggers, the Zimbabweans, and I know Zimbabwe is a whole state or
Oh,
whatever.
I didn't even know it was a country in Africa.
Yes, it is. So what we're doing is saying my nigga, which means me and you could say that to each other because that's what you are. Okay, but because I know that you don't mean anything harmful to me, but anybody else use that, I don't know what you mean when you use it. I have no clue. Oh, I don't mean nothing by it. I don't know that. You can't have it. That's why you can't.
I see, and I appreciate that education I just got.
Yes.
I ain't never too
Nobody. We are.
old.
Listen. I'm in my house. This is what I do. No, really. And it's
My
so
first
this.
time, like I've always made mention of it meaning ignorant. I've never
Mhm.
literally looked up the definition.
That's what. Yeah. They because that's what they said. So they called you that as the slave, and then said that's what it is because you ignorant. And then so we grew with that. That's what I'm saying. We have to unlearn some stuff
Got it.
because this generation, that Generation Z, is not having it. They know it already. Believe me. And how they know, I don't know, but they already know. And they're ready to live it and to be it and to express it. Just let them go ahead and express it.
It's crazy for the new generation out there that uses this word so frequently. I had just stated that, NIGGA is
Uh-huh.
used as a term of endearment,
Mm.
and NIGER, being the
Right.
history word that was used to minimize and disrespect us. I actually just looked up NIGGA, and it's defined to be offensive.
Because that's what they put in there. They don't want anybody to use it if they can't.
Oh, so I guess Oxford is the person who said it.
All right. See what I'm saying?
I don't even know who Oxford is. I know
No, you don't.
Oxford.
Mm.
I know I said I know he got a dictionary, but it had to be somebody's name. So
Right, exactly. So this is where we are with that, and that's why it's important too, but to know the history. This is
yeah,
what they're trying to even keep out of your schools right now, right? They
that's
don't they don't want the everybody's fighting right now to get the history in the school so that listen to me, please. That young man sitting next to you, if he ever gets wind of a lot of things he don't know, and we are responsible for making sure that he does, and they know that, that's why they don't want it. It's gonna be over for a lot of things and people. It's over. You hear me? It was almost over for the millennials, and they saw it. Because millennials were like, I'm not working for you. I ain't gonna work that hard. What's wrong with y'all? Or whatever, depending on the field, depending on what you're doing, you know, what your classification of work was. You could be passionate about something and stay there, okay, because that's your passion. But if you're not really feeling it, or not really being not into to working like that,
I think
no.
I think if our newer generation is Generation Z that we're speaking of,
Mm-hmm.
if they had, or excuse me, when they get the knowledge and
Mm-hmm.
the information that
Mm-hmm.
that the baby boomers had,
Yes.
and even Generation X, we'll go into that one as
Yeah.
well.
Mm-hmm.
If they get the information, or when they get that information and they take it with their boldness that they,
Right.
this world is really, they're not ready for
Who they're not,
they're not
and
ready for
especially, and don't, Lord knows, don't be black. But anyway, but and this is why authoritative parenting is important. Now, I'm a parenting educator, so you know I'm going to go in that direction. That's why that's important. Because if we oh well, that's what happened to me. Well, that was you, and that was then. Right now, we need to bring them to a place where they can make decisions. Because watch this, they're global already,
right.
right? Okay, so since they're global, when you're not in the room, we could tell them to turn it off. We could tell them all we want to tell them. Some things they're going to see that you don't know that they're seeing, right? And
Right.
you can't cut it off. Okay, so now we want them to have the knowledge to be a leader, to say, you know what, I'm not doing that, regardless. Because if we try to we be the authoritarian, we would drive them to that place. Like people were driven to the gangs. Kids were driven to the gangs because they was, in the house. It was
Unheard.
what? Hmm?
You feel unheard,
Okay. Right. Right.
unheard, looked over, minimized your feelings and such. So now you're looking for somebody that you feel like understands you.
And can relate to you. So what better
Right.
place to find that in the home?
In the streets of your peers.
Right. So find it in the home. Find it right in the home, and they will not go, because now, and that's why it's more dangerous. Like, sometimes we say, I gotten so full, so I'm talking fast, sorry. Sometimes we say, oh no, it's not, we would say it's dangerous. Like, well, our time wasn't as dangerous as their time. In this case, it's really not, because we would never know how many people they know. We never would have gotten to know any amount of people if we didn't have social media.
Right.
We don't know that many people. You know gangs, but you only know them where you live.
Local. Yeah.
Yes. So therefore, these children know people in China already. And if you don't, you sure can get to. And then it's
Movement.
not like,
Movement.
yes, it's not like you're going around the corner to meet the person. Remember, you be on the phone or be online, and you meet the person, and you go out there and you meet the man, and he's a grown man, and you done got caught. They can go. They can teach them how to send them money through a card, and you can come on and get on the bus and come all the way over there with me. Get on a plane. Well, probably not that young, but get somewhere and come over here with me.
Yeah.
We
Make
could move.
you, even from the standpoint of making a difference locally in your community and having somebody doing the same exact thing that you're doing, that believes and stands where you stand in their country.
In their country. It's okay. You
Absolutely.
understand?
Absolutely.
Right. And
They
so this
can
is,
reach the masses, like really reach the masses.
say it again.
I said they can reach the masses, like really reach the masses.
And this is why it's important for us to make sure that they do. We have to make sure that this generation we reach where they have to reach. And I believe, we're going to do it as being the parents. And I say parents because I think it still take a village for me. It just does.
Absolutely, I agree.
And we have to, I would say that I don't tell people what they have to do, but I would say that we have to make sure that we're meeting them where they are.
Right.
Let's meet them where they are. Let's see what's in their mind. Let's try to understand, not that they're going to get what they want. Like, just come to a conclusion. When your child is not in danger, you can let them do certain things and let them feel the consequences of that very action that they took.
We had that conversation last week.
Mm-hmm.
About, discipline and different parenting styles.
Okay. Oh, you did.
Yeah,
Okay.
we spoke about
Maybe.
that.
Oh, yeah. That's the one where I got two notices and still forgot. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Well,
It's like authority. And, well, they need to make the decision with you. That's what I would say. Like that, not that quick pop that you said you got.
right.
But you don't know. You don't even.
A dictatorship,
Yeah, you don't know why they're answering that way.
Well, I know when I was growing up, I used to even in my young adult life, I used to question if I loved my mom or I
Mhm.
feared my mom.
There it is. Right.
And I feel like the kids, at least I can speak for my kids, and maybe people who also parent the way in which I parent. It's either they love you or they don't, because it's not a dictatorship. It's a communication. Like I communicate,
Mhm.
with my kids. I allow them to have their voice. You have a voice for a reason. So at the
Exactly.
end of the day, it's not my job to take it from you. If I take it from you, then and you have that fear that I have, fear, no, both, both. Fear is afraid, fear as in afraid, and fear as in respect. But
Oh
it
yeah.
still was very, very timid, scared to
I,
speak.
I I would say we would fear as we had to respect. So the fear didn't come with the respect. The fear was coming because you're gonna hit me if I don't do what you tell me to do. So I respected you because I knew I better had done that. So you know what I'm saying? So when you said
And it makes
fear,
you scared to speak up and speak up to other adults as well, because
right,
that's
right.
the example that's being put in front of you.
And then even other children, even your peers, you get afraid of that too.
Yeah.
Sometimes something you I know I did. I was bullied. I know I did.
So
In school I'm talking about.
I definitely try to make sure that, I've always tried to make sure that they know that they had a voice. I
Right.
offer them a safe space, where they can just speak however they feeling authentically. My thing is, you can say whatever you want, just be respectful when you're saying it. You're
It's not
entitled
what you
to
say,
it.
how you say it, right?
Right. There's no consequences for it. You can just be open and honest, and we can discuss it. So, Jay, you
What
had
he
you wanted to say?
Yes.
oh yeah. I
Um,
want to hear what he got to say too.
you spoke earlier about like the evolution,
Hmm.
but something that Miss Dion mentioned earlier was the evolution of like certain things, and even you mentioned it. Like
Come closer to the mic.
even you mentioned it yesterday earlier in the life about how certain games you guys had then versus what we have today. But
Mm.
Dion mentioned like the evolution of the music and how it was in
Mhm.
your time versus us, like music.
Hmm. Hmm. Everything's evolving. Everything. Go ahead.
So what was I going to say? Oh, could you guys speak about what music was like for you? Singers, music.
I feel like music in our generation, and personally, I kind of really love music in my mom's generation. That's why I say I missed the mark. Like, I don't really think I'm a millennial. I really think I'm generation. Like, I really think I'm Generation X. I'm sorry,
I'm dying.
by way of the internet definition anyway. But it spoke to you. It told a story. It There's more music that spoke of love, even if you incorporate in heartache. It still had to come from love. It had something to say. Whereas in the music today, I don't even know what they're saying.
Can I
As
can I
well as
she
as,
said I don't know what they say.
as well as they're not speaking life. They're speaking guns and material things and drugs and that type of foolery.
Well, it depends because
This
you
is true.
have certain singers and certain songs, especially certain singers like John Legend speaks a lot about love. Sam Smith, his songs have a strong meaning to them. But there are songs out there that for me make absolutely no sense. And some songs are unnecessary.
John Legend is considered one of y'all artists, because I really feel like you're trying to take that artist from
Whoa,
my
I didn't
generation.
say that, I didn't say that.
Because I don't think he's y'all. I don't think he's y'all's. Sam Smith, yeah, he y'all's.
He's out.
I don't think John Legend is y'all's.
But he still makes music today.
Yeah,
Is what I was.
Let's see when he started, and because he could be in between. I think somebody even has this
I
down
put
here.
it in the bottom. She said we're in
Oh,
between. We're the middle.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're the middle kids.
You know,
I think
I,
we get forgotten about. This is true.
We're the young. I'm the young.
who gets forgotten about?
The millennials. It's all
Mm.
about Generation Z
Oh well, now yeah, because they're up and
We're
and
in
coming.
Generation X.
That's because we're in that generation and generation. I don't know about generation.
We're Generation X is my mama now.
That's because like people.
See, that's how Generation X talk. My mama now.
Yeah,
I'm
mama.
not a millennial.
That
Like
that's
they
supposed to
all
be
of them.
South, right?
All of them.
Say some of them.
Some of them.
Both.
Both of them.
Yeah, the music for me, my father's a musician, right? So I love all kinds of music. Excuse me. I love music itself. And so what happens is for me, when I hear music, I'm listening to that just that, the music, right?
In the back,
So the
the
huh?
instruments.
Yeah, right? So I'm listening to that, not so much the lyrics. So this is what that's why
Oh, these
it's
kids is listening to the lyrics.
they hear the lyrics, but they like you gotta have a beat. You got to come. You can't come sloppy with the beat.
Right, right,
You can't.
You're asking
Jetty, what do you think?
Z, you on your phone.
That's okay. No. I want to ask him what he thinks about that. I really want to know. See, this is. I
You and
could
that
be.
with lyrics with a whack beat?
Yes.
No.
Huh?
Can you like? Would you want to listen to good lyrics
Oh no.
with a whack beat?
Right. You got the beat come right, and that gets you drawn, and then you start listening to the word.
They spitting fire, like the words is so beautiful. It's really speaking to your heart, but somebody's in the back playing a triangle. And
Right.
you know,
See what I'm saying?
the xylophone,
Instrument.
See what I'm saying?
Xylophone's a good instrument.
a little flute,
Okay. No, don't even tell them the instruments to shower. Just let's talk about how good it is or how bad it is.
shaker, a rattle.
You understand? So this is what they attract them to, get that, and then they get that dun, and they start talking, and and so now it starts just flowing with the beat, and the words is like, I can hear a lot of things, and I don't even like the words, but I'm just into that beat,
But also, like,
Okay, go ahead.
that evolution kind of thing was we had old school rap. To this rap today, like you said, is a bunch of things where it's just like some rap. It's like,
Oh, okay, so that's where I was going. So the beat grabs you, then the lyrics are there. Let me tell you, one day I was standing in the store where they sell the speakers and the stuff on the Ave, on Jamaica Ave. And I had never, ever heard the lyrics to Snoop Dogg's song. I forgot how it goes now, but it was about that stripper on the pole.
Okay.
Okay, I never knew what he was saying because the the beat, and I sit there and I listened, and when I listened, I said, I didn't know he was saying. I said, oh my God, I let my kids listen to it. Yes. So it was like, oh my goodness, I think that draws, that kind of draws us in to that. I think that, so evolving, because even in music, we have to know who we're talking about. We're talking about Hollywood, celebrity, what they want you to do is be captivated. Yeah, be captivated by what you looking at so that you would desire it. And that's a distraction.
Right.
That's what I
Politics.
see with that.
Still politics.
art
Yes.
in general has just evolved over time.
Yeah.
That's what I believe. Yeah, that's the evolving I believe we've come to more than anything.
We're going to wrap up this
Yeah.
evening live.
Mhm.
Dawn, we really appreciate your wisdom that you brought to us. And thank you for tuning in and joining us.
I really enjoyed this. Thank you for having me. I really did.
Yes. For
Thank
those,
you guys for watching us.
Dawn, you got a email or something that I can give, because for those of y'all who don't, well, y'all don't know. Well, those of y'all who don't know Dawn, um,
Mm-hmm.
Dawn she does parenting classes.
Okay. Yes, I have.
Dawn, I don't know if you're looking at the comments. We've had hi, Miss Dawn. We've had
I can't see them. I try, and my whole screen
we've
just.
had. They love what Miss Dawn was saying. They agree with Miss Dawn was saying. And
Oh, God bless you. Good.
thank you, Miss Dawn.
Okay. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for your feedback. Thank you.
Dawn, what's the email that people can reach out if they were interested in parenting classes?
They can go to my website.
Okay, can you give me that so I can put it down at the bottom?
Okay,
MADPampering
www.madpampering .family.
family. That's the complete name.
Yes. Yes, that's it. .family. Like you have .com, I have .family.
if you guys look down in the bottom, we've put in her email. Can you see it? Dawn, can you see it?
The www.
Yes.
Yes, I do. That's the website.
So you guys can email Dawn if y'all want to ask any questions.
Okay, wait, Shashara, that's the website. The email would be madpampering.
Oh, my mistake. I apologize.
That's okay, but that's
Wait,
they
hold
can
up.
have. So you want just a email. Okay, so madpampering@gmail. But that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because this way they can email you.
Yes, please do. Please do. I
Email
love
you
this.
For information on either.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, gmail.com. Right. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So y'all can reach out to Dawn the same way we say for prayer and stuff on our contacts that we put up there, which I will definitely be adding up there in a moment. But y'all can reach out to Dawn for prayer. Dawn, you all right with me?
Yes, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. So Dawn is also a pastor. I've been knowing her since I was probably like 17 years old. Super cool. Down to earth. She has evolved. Like she has evolved.
Yeah.
So if you guys y'all like what y'all heard, y'all might have some questions. She also does parenting. She actually just finished a book that will be launching. So any questions about anything that y'all heard today, or as information that we provided after she spoke, as well as things that she said during, you guys can always send out. Dawn, Tima says thank you.
Make sure you
God
guys
bless you, Tima. Yes.
Make sure
you guys can send her an email. But
absolutely.
Thank you, Dawn, again for coming. Jay, can you do me a favor in the comments of the video? Could you put her email, please?
I can.
Thank you.
Make sure you guys go check out her TikTok, which is I gotta quit.
Oh, go ahead. Say whatever you're gonna say. I'm gonna put it over here.
Okay.
Oh, I know.
Go check out her TikTok, which is I got a question. I space God, as in the Lord Himself, a question.
What's that?
You got all the people in the background going crazy. Oh, you know what I just realized, guys? I put dot instead of at. My mistake.
Oh yeah, right.
Losing focus.
Okay.
There's Dawn. Okay. Dawn's email has been put into the comments. So if you guys want to,
yes, and even if it doesn't matter what type of question you have. It doesn't matter what you want to say, what you want to talk about, whether it's the Bible or the parenting. You can email me and with whatever questions you may have. I welcome it. Go ahead.
Is your book out yet?
On Monday.
Cool. All right.
Because
so
Miss T said she wants one.
All right.
When her book is launched and I can get the information and everything on it, we'll generate a commercial like the one I'm about to play for my book.
All right.
Yes. I came in today advertising because I was told I don't be advertising.
Mm-hmm.
I came in advertising, but y'all couldn't see.
No, because
you guys don't already have a copy of Broken But Not Defeated. It's a book of spoken word pieces that I had developed or created rather over the course of my teenage years into maybe my early 20s and such. Please make sure you go on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon, or again, you guys can email me and I will get you a copy. We'll discuss fee and all of that. Go ahead, Jay. You can launch the commercial.
You don't have your book yet? Well, get it now. Broken But Not Defeated by Tashara Gilliard on Amazon.com. Want it autographed? Send an email, lovescompassion@gmail.com, and we will make sure you get your book today.
Oh, that was awesome. All right.
Jetty wanted to release this real quick. We'll be logging off in a moment, guys.
Wow. I like.
Thank you. And Jenny just got a fresh cut today from Virtuous Cuts, you
All
know.
right. All right. All right. All right. All right.
Girl.
Jenny,
That's
we're gonna stay up on the technology. So when it's time for you to put your commercial up, we're gonna make sure it's straight. Because
facts.
you're doing
Facts.
a very good job with that. You're doing a really good job with that.
Those of y'all who don't know, Jetty has been the one that created these commercials.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, 12 years old, he's going what he does. All I
Hmm.
gotta do is say, Jay, I want this, and he's gonna go figure out how to do it. Like they said,
Right.
you know, we learned it; they were born into it.
They
So
bought they
I
have it in
gotta
them.
do that's it
To
right. For 'em.
to Shara, I also have I'm having a prayer and pampering on June the 10th.
Go ahead. You make mention what
Oh,
it is.
yeah, I just want to say I have if anybody wants to have any information about that, then you can email me as well. It's a prayer and pampering. It's a day for relaxation for people to come and get their nails done, massages, and just relax with food, fun, gift bags, and it's free. So email me.
That was the first, you should have started there.
Yeah,
That
right.
was what I
Since
wanted
it's
to
a free
know.
event.
This is something that she's been doing for years. She
Mhm.
has people who she has had people who have volunteered to come in and be vendors and just bless the people. She gift bags. She does all of this stuff on her own. She does not charge anything. And like she said, the women come out, you get to relax, let your hair down.
Mhm.
It's a blessing. It is definitely a blessing. So please, if you're interested in that, for the guys who might be watching, if you got a mom or a sister or somebody,
Guys are invited now.
oh, you got dudes pulling up too for Pantera? Oh,
Madpampering.family.
wow, that's cute.
Yeah, I do.
I want to go mix and mingle and do some prayer and pampering, which is pretty much exactly what it sounds like, but it ain't like church. I don't want y'all to get scared. It ain't like that.
No, it's not.
So
Not at all.
please email Dawn. We had her email at the bottom. Email her and you can ask her any questions and she'll get back to y'all. Thank
Give
y'all
you
for
information.
tuning in. We really appreciate you guys. We always let y'all know if y'all have any topics to talk about. Because trust me, sometimes we struggle trying to figure out. Sometimes it be the very last moment. We're like, okay, we're gonna talk about this.
That's why you don't see me in the green room.
You guys have any type of suggestions of topics that you would like to hear Love's Compassion Ministries, Tashara and Jedediah, mom and
Prayers,
son,
topic
talk about?
suggestions.
Prayers, any topics, any suggestions, please feel free to text us.
347-699-5722. It's at the bottom. 347-699-5722.
Or we can also be reached at email if anybody wanted to email us trying to get a copy of a book or same thing, prayers, topics, suggestions. Please feel free. Emails at the bottom as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a blessing. Dawn, we appreciate you. Thank you for joining us today.
God bless y'all. Thank you for having me, Tashara.
All right.
Hopefully next time we can see your face though.
Later, guys.
Oh, you will.
Yes, we'll see your face next time. Later, guys.
Okay, bye-bye. Good night. Where's your hand, Jenny?